This interview that you're about to hear with Julia Canham of Westbury Arts Centre was recorded before we all went into lockdown and self-isolation. So obviously Westbury Arts Centre will be up and running and events will be taking place later on in the year. Please check their website for further details, but I hope you enjoy the podcast nonetheless. Hi, it's Nancy, and a huge warm welcome to my Arts and Style show, and the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style show. And I'm delighted to be joined by Julia Canham, who is the event organizer at Westbury Arts Centre. Hello, Julia.
Hello, Nancy. Thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast.
It's absolutely my pleasure. I love the Westbury Arts Centre. It's Milton Keynes' best kept secret. We don't want it to be a secret anymore, which is why we've got you on.
Exactly. And we did an exhibition a couple of years ago called The Hidden Jewel, which kind of went into us being there, and we've been there for a long time. We actually predate the Norman conquest.
Not you personally.
Not me personally, no.
Far too young and glamorous to have been predating the Norman conquest, but it's a beautiful building, a beautiful
building,
site, yes.
The building is, and we're so grateful that throughout the years, the house is still being used, and it's full of artisans, and that's kind of where its history lies in.
So going back to you, how did you get involved in all this? Are you a mad creative artist type person?
Not at all.
Okay, so just super organised.
It was one of those things. We've lived in Milton Keynes for 20 years, but we moved and we lived in New York for 3 years. And we came back about 2.5 years ago, and I was looking for something to do. And at the time, Westbury Arts Centre was looking for volunteers to help research the history of their site. And I thought, I've never done it before, don't know what's involved, went to the meeting. And even though I didn't know anything about the history research side of things, I actually said, do you want some help on the project as administration, organisation, etc.? And they said yes. And I've kind of stayed on. So I've been volunteer coordinator, and I help out in the office. I do bits and pieces. I do things like podcasts.
You mean there's other podcasts out there? I thought I was the only podcast in Milton Keynes. I'm so disappointed.
And I now do the event organising for Westbury for their main public events throughout the year, because there are lots of events that we have, but they're not all arranged by us. So we have artists coming in, and we have 19 artists that have studios at Westbury.
So they're in residence, artists in residence.
Artists in residence.
I love the sound of that. I always think it sounds so kind of so French and so glamorous, artists in residence. I love the sound of that.
And they're a fantastic group of artists, and they cover such a wide range of disciplines. So we have painters, we have ceramicists, we have a stone carver, we have a furniture upcycler. I hope I've got that right. We've got a wire sculpture as well as watercolour painters, oil painters, and apologies if I've missed anyone out.
That's an extraordinary array of artists, though, and as someone who, as a creative, I'm not remotely artistic, and that really frustrates me because I can't draw. I mean, you do not want me on your Pictionary team because I will let the side down spectacularly. But I'm in awe of people who have that vision, who can put something together and make it look beautiful out of, as you say, wire or pottery or steel or whatever the materials that people can think of. That people will make things out of anything, and that just blows my mind because I'm quite linear in the way that I think, even though I'm a creative, and that's a bit of a sort of a juxtaposition, really. And how does that fit with you? Because it sounds like you're super organised. Do you have a creative side in there somewhere?
I like photography, and I like photography, and I'm getting more into photography. But again, with that, I look at people's photos and think, how did they do that? It's not always just a case of taking the photo, it's what you do after with it, how you manipulate and how you edit it. And it's amazing, but to work somewhere where you're surrounded by these very talented people, and the work is amazing.
It is amazing, and I mean, my day job is I'm a personal stylist, and I style people for a living, and I'm all about sort of making women and men feel better about themselves and making them look amazing. But the other day I had to do a sort of a VM rail, visual merchandising rail of clothes, and I've really struggled with that. And it's interesting because I can dress people, but I can't dress a rail. So I can dress a body. Yet I had to get one of the amazingly creative visual merchandisers to come in and do the rail. She says, but I couldn't dress people. Isn't it wonderful that we're all so different? We've all got these amazingly different talents.
Yeah, it is. And as I say, I'm not creative. But I appreciate that other people are, and I enjoy seeing what they create.
And you've got lots coming, lots going on this year. And I know sort of the big thing we want to sort of talk about is the submissions for Milton Keynes Open 2020, and that's all about sort of this is a word I really struggle with, championing local creatives. And obviously you're inviting all artists to apply, and that's the sort of launching Westbury Young Artist of the Year. This is really exciting. Is this a first?
So we launched the event last year. We put a call out, and this isn't just for artists, it's for anyone who can be creative. To submit up to 3 pieces of artwork, and what then happened was we had a judging panel who literally went through every single submission that we had, and those that were successful then went into the exhibition. So what we do for the event, it's over hopefully a sunny weekend in July, and we have all of the artwork on display throughout the house and barn. We have a private reception on the Saturday morning where all of the artists who had work accepted come in for some refreshments in the morning, and then we open it up to the public, and we have some of our artists do demonstrations and workshops and children's workshops. We have music, local musicians who play throughout the weekend, and we have 3 or 4 local food vendors on site. So it's a fantastic weekend, and the feedback that we had from the first event last year, it captured something in people, because we weren't looking for as established artists. We were looking for those people who haven't picked a paintbrush up for 20 years, and I could tell you there were a few of them. We had people who will dabble just continually but never thought they'd have an opportunity to have artwork on display.
It's like therapy for some people though, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And we had a room dedicated to under 18 artists, age under 18. And the work, you would never assume that somebody that young had created that work. And it was wonderful. We had 600 people through our doors over the weekend.
Phenomenal.
Oh, it was amazing.
Did that exceed expectation then?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely though, because all that work and that effort you've put in to publicise something like that, when so many people show an interest and they turn up, and I think when the sun's out, everyone's feeling so much more friendly and sort of wanting to kind of be involved with stuff like that. So that you must have been really proud. We
were really proud, and it was really nice to see the range of work that we had submitted and was in the event. This year we've opened it up to be sort of 3D work as well. And there's something about people who didn't think they'd ever have the opportunity to have work on display. We had people come on the Saturday, they brought friends and family back on the Sunday, and we did a people's choice over the weekend. So every visitor was given a slip of paper and asked to vote and choose their piece under 3 separate questions. I won't tell you the questions because then you can come this year and find out what the questions are. And the award for that, it was a rosette, it was acknowledgement. There wasn't a prize, and it just got people engaged of when they came to the exhibition over the weekend. So what we're doing this year is extending that and launching Westbury Young Artist of the Year. So what this does, we actually want to celebrate the young artists at primary and secondary school level, as well as discovering our Young Artist of the Year. And it's so important that young people, and we have, say, this applies up to 18, have a chance to do that, and an opportunity.
Yeah, because with all the arts cuts in schools, I think it's really difficult for people to sort of have the opportunity to sort of showcase their artistry or the artistic talents. And sometimes it's not a cool thing to do. So I think a lot of people keep their sort of artistic talents hidden under a bushel, really, because I know my son was a dancer at school, but nobody knew because it wasn't a cool thing for boys to dance. It is now, and he's having the last laugh. But, sometimes, what's perceived as cool or not cool. And, and I think also for people who maybe of my generation who at school wanted to draw, wanted to paint, but in those days teachers weren't particularly complimentary and encouraging and were told you can't draw, you're stupid, or what, for people to come to a safe place to feel that they can actually, that hidden talent, that talent can be nurtured now after 30, 40 years. That must be so rewarding.
And it is, and that's exactly some of the people that we had apply and were successful last year. These were people who, I think our youngest entrant was about 10 and our oldest was, I don't know an exact age, but we certainly had applicants in their 70s and 80s.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Which was fantastic to see. And the fact that they took so much enjoyment from coming to the event and seeing their work that had been curated, and it was in an exhibition.
And I mean, imagine having your own artwork in an exhibition. I mean, that would blow my mind. So the deadline for the submissions is the 6th of May. So, it's imminent. So people need to get cracking. If they've got anything in mind, they need to start doing it now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really, I mean, I was surprised the entry fee is only £15 for the under 18s. And, I just think that's...
So it's £15 for over 18s.
Okay, so 8.
And it's £8 for under 18s. We've also contacted all of the schools in Milton Keynes as well. So actually, if an under 18 applies through their school, there is a slightly reduced rate. Okay. So it's worthwhile.
But the point is that, it's so inexpensive, it's affordable. There's no excuse. Everybody can have a go.
Exactly. And it's £15 and £8. That is up to 3 pieces of art. So it's not per piece. And you may get 3 pieces in the exhibition, you may get 1 piece, you may not get any. We have to be
absolutely. And I noticed that you've got sort of in April as well, you've got an art and nature festival, and there's an evening talk with Patrick Barkham. You've got lots going on this year, haven't you? You've got the MK Open Day in July, weather permitting, of course.
It will happen.
Yeah, it will happen. July's usually pretty good with weather, isn't it, actually?
We'd like sun, but whatever the weather, we're British, we can cope with it.
We can cope with it.
And so what we do for the MK Open is we have the event over the weekend, but all of the artwork remains in the exhibition until the 19th of July. So actually, if people can't get there during the weekend, they can sort of pop in during the week by appointment and view it at their leisure.
That's fantastic. And, You've got the Heritage Open Days, you've got the Arts and Crafts Winter Fair. So I guess as an events organizer, you have to be planning a whole year ahead, really, don't you?
Yes, I've not quite started on the Winter Fair yet, but everything else is all in hand. And as I say, our first event will be on the 18th and 19th of April, which is an art and nature festival. Because of our unique location, we actually have a very unique location in the biodiversity of Milton Keynes. We've had several surveys done over the last couple of years. So it's a way of us to share that information with you. We have an art exhibition from our resident artists. We'll have children's activities. And of course, we'll have tea and cake, because you can't have an event without cake.
Now I'm interested. You've mentioned cake. I mean, I'm a complete cake eater. For everybody who knows me, it's actually on my Twitter, on my social media handles, that actually I love musical theatre, yoga and cake, not necessarily in that order. But talking of musical theatre, I've got some questions for you, and I did prompt you earlier.
You did prompt me earlier.
So yes, we're both lovers of musical theatre. What are your favourite 3 shows? And I know that's really hard to choose because there's so much amazing stuff on at the moment.
So I think I'm going to go back a few years. I'm not going to tell you how many years, but I think my love of musical theatre started when I saw Barnum in London.
Is that with Michael Crawford?
Yes.
the legend that is Michael Crawford.
So I was fairly young at that time, but I think that just kind of sowed the seed for, I like this type of theatre. And I saw Cats a couple of years later as well, which is fantastic.
In London as well.
In London as well. Yeah. More recently, it doesn't matter what I see, but anything by Matthew Bourne and anything by the Northern Ballet Company, I love. I love their staging. I love the music that goes with it. So basically, if I see either of them on, especially in Milton Keynes, I kind of round the girls up and we're like, okay, this is what we're going to see. And I think I love theatre as well, so I will go and see things that are not musical theatre.
There's so much choice, though. I mean, isn't there? I mean, I'm lucky. I get to go every week as a theatre reviewer.
Oh, fantastic!
I know. I do work hard for it. To be fair, there's a lot that goes with it. Everyone thinks I just get given free tickets and I turn up and quaff champagne. It's not quite that straightforward. I have to do all the sort of social media around it, but it is lovely. It's an amazing job. It's a huge privilege, but. Like you, it's, I love musical theatre and I'm a massive ballet fan, particularly Matthew Bourne as well. I love the Red Shoes. I mean, the first ballet of his I saw was Edward Scissorhands, and it blew my mind from a concept perspective. It was incredible. I'd never seen anything like it before. And I think what he's done for ballet is what Isadora Duncan did for ballet in the 20th century. Just turned it on its head. He's so revolutionary. And I love Northern Ballet as well. They do amazing shows, and I love Barnum as well. I think I saw Brian Connolly in it here, and it's a lovely show, and it's kind of embodies musical theatre, doesn't it? But it's hard to choose, isn't it?
Yeah. When you kind of preempt, I'm like, okay, so how do I get it down to three? But that's what I love, and that's kind of what got me started in loving theatre, and I've always gone to theatre.
Do you tread the boards yourself?
No interest in being up there. Quite happy to go and watch other people. People do it. And it just fits in nicely.
Don't you think we're lucky though? We're so lucky, and I think also sort of. Having Westbury Arts Centre and all the amazing cultural things that are going on here in Milton Keynes. We have the great theatre. We've got Stantonbury, we've got Westbury. There's so many different things going on. I mean, we could be out every single night doing something artistic. We're so lucky. And that's why we should be celebrating the arts in Milton Keynes, which is why I do my podcast, because I'm passionate about the arts and say places like Westbury Arts Centre don't get enough publicity. And I know about it, but a lot of people probably don't know about it. So, we need to be shouting more.
We are shouting, and we appreciate doing things like this and radio interviews that we've done in the past to actually spread the word, because a lot of people think Milton Keynes doesn't have that arts
I know, it
scene.
Makes me so angry. I will get on my proper soapbox about it. Because, everyone thinks Milton Keynes is a cultural wasteland, and I say this on every single show, and it couldn't be further from the truth. We have got so much to do here. And as I say, we could be doing something every day, every night, going out, doing something artistic, either partaking or watching.
Oh, exactly. And the lovely thing about Westbury Arts Centre is you can come and enjoy someone else's work. You can take part. So as well as the sort of large public events that we do, and we touch upon the Art and Nature Festival that we're doing.
Is that like a nature trail, is it?
So it will be more the findings from the surveys that have taken place, and there'll be an Easter egg trail for the kids as well.
Oh, I miss all that. When my boys were little, I used to love doing Easter egg trails. So can't believe we're talking about Easter chocolate, yay!
And then things like later in the year where we do HODs, so the Heritage Open Days. So we have an open weekend for that. And we always do a guided walk along with the Parks Trust, because we're in Shenley Wood. We're right next door to the actual ancient woodland. And then in June, going back a month, the Artist Collective at Westbury, so it's our group of artists, they are involved in Bucks Arts Week. There are 12 artists taking part. It's over 2 weeks, and it's from the 6th of June to the 21st of June at our one location of Westbury Arts Centre. So it's a chance for people to come and see the artists in their studios, see how they work, talk to them. You're always welcome to buy a piece or two. I'm sure they will appreciate that. come and enjoy refreshments, and just come and enjoy the building and the site and what happens at Westbury, and learn more about what we do.
I agree completely. It's so beautiful. I mean, I haven't been there for years, but it is a sort of undiscovered little gem in Milton Keynes, and it is, as you say, lovely to go and see the artists in residence, go and see their paintings and their works, and go and see what's sort of on exhibition. But the whole atmosphere of it is so special. I think I went to a party there. I vaguely remember a party about 10 years ago, and it involved a pig on the spit, which was amazing, and there was a fantastic 50s rockabilly band. It was a really great night. It was probably one of the best nights I've had out at Milton Keynes in a long time. But it's such a lovely location. It lends itself to that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, and the grounds are lovely, and the fact that parts of the building do date back to the 14th century, but we know that the actual site is a lot older than that, and that's why we did the project a couple of years ago, to actually share that story, and that's why we're doing the Art and Nature Festival, because that is also part of our story. It's part of what Westbury is and why we are unique in a way in Milton Keynes, and we are that hidden jewel that more people are getting to know.
Absolutely. And it's a great place for kids, because I remember taking my kids there when they're little, and they moaned about the art thing being dragged around, but they loved running. I remember they were running around in the grounds, and it is such a beautiful location. And again, so if you're not madly artistic, just go. I always sort of say to people, if you're not that way inclined, go along, because you might be surprised. You might find a type of art that you might not have discovered before, as you say, because there's so many different types of artistry on display.
And we do and there are so many exhibitions that happen throughout the year. So we have a Westbury Fabric and Fibre Guild. So I think it's end of August, they put on a fantastic exhibition. We've got a couple of our resident artists have got exhibitions sort of throughout the summer on different themes. So come along, have a look around, and discover something new about your town and about something that's on your doorstep.
And obviously we need to know, so just to clarify, dates. So we've got submissions for Milton Keynes Open 2020. The deadline is the 6th of May. So get cracking.
Yes.
Get painting or whatever it is that you're doing. Obviously, your website is very comprehensive. What are your social media handles?
So our Twitter handle is at Westbury Arts, and our Instagram is at Westbury Arts Centre. Our website is www.westburyartscentre.org.uk, and we can also be contacted via our website or through admin@westburyartscentre.co.uk or events@westburyartscentre.co.uk. So there's lots of ways to get involved with us.
Yeah, and it is very easy to get in touch with you, because there are, as you say, we're all over the socials now. I mean, there's no excuse to not be able to get hold of people.
No.
So to reiterate, is there anything you want to sort of say in terms of, if someone wasn't particularly artistic or found art a little, a bit scared, a bit highbrow, or think art's a bit highbrow, what would you say to them why they should come to Westbury Arts Centre?
I think Westbury Arts Centre, we are, everyone will say this, but we are a very friendly group. We're a very approachable group. We want to meet you. So come to an event, see what we can offer you. We also do workshops and courses throughout the year. So perhaps if you haven't picked up a pencil, have a look, see if we've got any courses that you can come along to, and get that hobby back.
Yes, get those creative juices flowing again. Absolutely. Well, I think it's an amazing centre, and I would reiterate, need to go and have a look. It's been so lovely having you on my show. It really, really has been a joy, and we look forward to sort of seeing what the year brings as well. For Westbury Arts Centre. So, Julia Canham, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you at one of your events. I shall probably be coming to Well, there's one in April. So yes, I think the weather would have turned by then. So maybe April, but definitely July. Any excuse to come up.
I'll be there for all the events.
And there's cake, so I shall be there.
I'll be delighted to see you again, Nancy.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Yeah, you can catch my show, the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show. It's on iTunes and Spotify and Spreaker. Yeah, all over the socials. And we've got some great cards now. So if you want to catch me at Milton Keynes Theatre, I'm there every week. And I've got some amazing cards with a QR code on. I know this is, we're on podcast, but I'm going to do it on my video. And you can scan the QR code, which is on the Facebook group as well. My producer is so happy with me because I'm plugging like mad. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and it's been an absolute joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to my interview with Julia Canham of Westbury Arts Centre. However, I just need to let you know that this was recorded before lockdown. So for any further information, I would ask that you would visit the Westbury Arts Centre website, which is westburyartscentre.org.uk. That's westburyartscentre.org.uk for further information. Thanks for listening.